from the Something Beautiful project, but now I'm getting to talk to the authors themselves. Hi, Bill. Hi, Gloria. How you
Hey,
doing?
Ernie.
Ernie, how you doing, my friend?
Oh man, I'm hanging in there, trying to
Uh,
stay productive.
it's good to be with you. This has been an interesting time. Gloria and I have just during this time we've got one goal. We just said, Lord, help us be real good citizens. In fact, we said we want to get an A in citizenship.
Remember
We,
that grade in
yeah,
junior high?
yeah.
A in
If we
citizenship.
have to wear the mask, we'll wear the mask, and we just want to get through this, and I think we are. So.
Well, you look good. You look healthy, and I'm glad you're obeying all the rules. We want to keep you guys around a long, long time.
But she's a great cook, and we put on a few pounds during that. And we've been staying home. We're fortunate because Angie, who works with us in the house, she goes to the grocery store for us in the drugstore. So we've really seen very few people, with the exception of our family. So
Our family's been in, yeah. And Ernie, I just want to tell you what a great honor it is that you guys chose to do this project. I mean, to do a whole project of one person's writing is pretty amazing. How did you decide what you wanted to do?
Well, there was way more songs than we could record. I love your songs. And you guys should know that growing up in our home in Newburgh, Indiana, there was an upright piano, and there was these sheet musics right across the front, and it was your alls. I was intrigued from the very beginning that the songs that always touched my heart and that was in my home. We used to do beyond revivals. We would have cottage prayer meetings, and our home was open to host. And so my mom and dad would always say, "Hey, Ernie, sing to us before we pray." And then 2 or 3 songs in, which were Because He Lives and I Am Loved, I was just singing your songs before I really knew about you personally. And so they would say, "Ernie, sing a few songs," and I would sing your songs. And then they would eventually say, "Ernie, shut up, stop." I would turn it into a concert. We need to pray now. So they were pushing me in the room. But I was just drawn to your music. And I knew this was a bucket list thing for me. I knew that I wanted to go and put my personal touch, my heart to your songs. And I'm honored that I got that chance to do that.
Well, it's a beautiful project. You know, interesting what you said about having cottage prayer meetings. I did that growing up too. And often I've said, I think the primary educational institution and the primary religious institution is the home.
Mm-hmm.
And so during this time when a lot of us have been home more than we have chosen maybe, and a lot of people with little kids have had to homeschool, home entertain, home play games, home do exercise, all as a part of the home life. But, you know, I think that if we are open to it, makes our lives richer. And I love what you said, that you sang our songs or any songs about the gospel first at home. Mm-hmm. No wonder you want to go around the country singing them, because they're in your blood. You know, the messages. I like to think that songs are portable theology. We carry it with us in the bathtub, and, you know, at the grocery store, it's going on in our head. Songs play in our head. And I also speak and I write other things, but I really do know that when you're going down for the third time, it's always the lyrics to some old hymn or old gospel song that rescues you when you're in trouble. And so as a writer, Bill and I take very seriously, you know, the truth of what we put in our songs, because if that's what's going to come to you when you're most in need, it needs to be true.
Mm-hmm. You know, with this medley, Ernie, is the first one loving God and loving each other? Is that the first one?
The very first Loving God, loving each other.
Okay, this is it, and I can remember when we were sitting around saying, "Okay, we can't record all of these tunes, so let's go through and get a medley and sing a little bit of some of your better ones." Now, you did do "He Touched Me" as a whole song because He Lives as a whole song, and there's something about the name. But how can we get some of these other songs? And I said, let's start out with loving God and loving each other. It is interesting. We've been married for 57 years. We grew up on Mosey Lister, Ira Stampfill, Stuart Hamlin, Fanny Crosby, the great, and there were more than that. But those were the ones that we remember the most. And so when we started writing, we would look at ideas and say, Jesus said, there are only 2 commandments. He didn't say there are only 2. They said, what are the most important? And he came down, love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, love your neighbor as yourself. We wrote that 40 years ago, or 30, at least 30 years ago.
Wow.
And it's interesting. When I talk to current people who are in the music field, they will bring up that scripture as if it's a new scripture. Jesus said to love God with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and your neighbor is yourself. And I will say, yeah, we wrote a song about that 40 years ago, loving God, loving each other, making music with my friends, loving God, loving each other, and the story never ends.
Well, actually, that is in the 16th, 17th chapter of John, when Jesus has got his whole posse together, and they're leaving.
You will get emails on that.
To go to good. They're leaving to go to Gethsemane, and it's like Jesus is running down the road after your college student saying, "In case you didn't get it, let me say it one more time. Here's a quarter. You can always call home." And he said, okay, in case you didn't get it, love God with all your heart. Love each other as I have loved you. And then he said, let's sing a song. And then they went out and went to Gethsemane. Mm. So that's pretty much the summation of the whole gospel. And it's simple. It's not easy. It's simple.
I told, with this shutdown, we released this record, and then I was so excited to go out and sing. Getting songs one song from this record every Friday night, and it's back. It just dawned on me. It's how it all started for me, from my living room. Every night we've been singing on Friday nights these songs that I sang growing up in my living room, and now we're presenting them because of the shutdown from our living room. And I pray before we sing your songs. I pray that God would use these songs and our approach to them, because the first few weeks of this, maybe people were not talking to each other with the grace they needed. So I'm seeing that maybe the good thing out of this is that people are learning to respect each other's opinions, talk to each other with grace, with tones of love, because if it doesn't start in the home, if it doesn't start here, it's going to break down everywhere. And we see it breaking down everywhere. So maybe the Spirit of God, I'm not saying I know this, but maybe the Spirit of God is saying, I'm going to rebuild my world one home at a time. You guys need to stay home for a while and figure this out. So, I don't know.
Well, songs have a way of coming full circle, don't they?
They do.
I mean, I remember when our little Suzanne was a baby, I would sing her, "What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms." And because it goes to a rocking chair. I mean, you can rock and sing that song. And when she got bigger and she could talk, she said, "Mommy, sing the Tater Chip song." And I said, "What?" She said, "Sing that tater chip. What a tater chip, what a joy divine."
She was really getting the theology of that one.
But that stuck in her mind as an infant, and she recalled it as a 3-year-old. And my total trust is that song will never leave her. Now that she knows what it really says, now she has grown children of her own. And I want her to know that no matter what those kids go through, those 2 great boys are going through, she can depend on what a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the evidence. And it's our back to home again. It's our relationships with home come full circle, no matter where we are.
We on our Facebook page, we have a place where visitors can post comments and pictures. And it broke my heart last night. I laid down. And if I'm going to be honest and transparent with you guys, I put on a good face for people. I want to be joyful. But, I got a lot of questions too. I've given 33 years of my life to this. And I feel like I've been cut off at the knees and I can't do anything about it. And I laid down last night. I was like, what's going on, Lord? And I clicked on that little tiny baby. And you could just see it. The mom filmed her, just restless. And she says, the only thing that will give her peace is these Friday night sings that you're doing of these songs. And then so she played a little bit of your song, It's Beginning to Rain. And that baby just started, and she went into a complete content state. And it's all in a home. It's all about the song. It's all about what the Spirit's doing. And from your child to my childhood to that little innocent soul that we don't even know the name of, that will never leave her either. And so, I got to sit back and say, have thine own way, Lord. Have thine own way. Thou art the potter, I'm the clay. Mold me. It's back to those songs.
Back in the early radio days with the quartets, they would always say, please send us your requests. Send your cards and your letters to the radio station. You know me in the old days. I've got those old radio shows on my iPad that is to. You know what they were saying to the people? It's one thing for us to sing it to. We got a microphone here. It's one thing for us to sing into this microphone. We'd like to get some feedback from you. We'd like, and there is nothing like, you mentioned the email of the mother who's concerned. And there's nothing like, Gloria will say, with her blog, she'll say, listen to this comment from this person. And I got to tell you what, people are going through some tough times. I keep hearing about we're all in the same boat. No, we're all in the same storm.
Yes.
But we all have different boats to get out of this storm. Our boat is pretty good because of Angie there helping us, buy our stuff from the groceries and that kind of thing.
We got a good front porch we can sit on. And, we've been
in that same front porch for 55 years now in that same house. And it's a pretty good little boat. I'm kind of happy. There are a lot more expensive boats, a lot bigger boats, but a pretty good boat to be in. But to get the feedback from people, and I thank God, I know so little about what I'm doing here today. I can't believe that you're sitting in your living room. And I feel like we're just talking here together. Thank God for technology. I don't have a clue as to how it happens. But thank God for that, because to be honest with you, I need feedback. I need my kids. I need my kids to say, Dad, what did you mean by saying that? And sometimes just texting doesn't do that. You got to have something visual where you can see,
Can I tell you something about one of your songs? We go from loving God, loving each other on this medley to the family of God. So, and I'm looking at the titles back here. One thing that I found intriguing, 2 or 3 of the guys in my group were in their late 20s. So when we was presenting the arrangement after you and me and Wayne Hahn met in the studio, we were playing the song, and then when we got to the chorus, I noticed the young guys going, "Oh wait, I know that one." A lot of your songs, the choruses were sung in their church, but not the verse for whatever reason. And they're like, wait a minute, I know that one. Wait a minute, Billy Graham wrote that one? And so I've enjoyed, because I just take it for granted, everybody knows. I've enjoyed seeing a whole nother generation be introduced to these timeless songs that, the church has changed. And whether I like it or not, I think they need to be singing these songs. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this. I wanted to present it in a way that that the church could say, hey, this is part of our heritage.
Ernie, the title of your project is called Something Beautiful. And a lot of people know the chorus, something beautiful, something good on me. But thank God you sang the verse. If there ever were dreams that were lofty and noble, they were my dreams at the start. And the hopes for life's best were the hopes that I harbored down deep in my heart. But my dreams
turned to ashes. My
castles all crumbled.
My fortune turned to loss. So I wrapped it all in the rags of my life and laid it at the cross. And he made something beautiful.
He did something beautiful.
All my confusion, he understood. All I had to offer him was brokenness and strife. But he made something beautiful of my life.
We got that idea from our little daughter.
Yeah. Suzanne was the kid that wanted to always be doing a project.
What was she, 3 or 4?
Like clay
5?
and paint and finger paint and chalk on the sidewalk. And as long as I kept her busy, she was a great kid. But she wanted to be, her mind just didn't stop. So I was just like, by the time I could send her to 2 days of nursery school, I was ready. I had run through everything I could think of. But anyway, one day she was over in the corner. She was painting on a big piece of art paper. And she dropped a blob of paint on her painting. She had a painting going. And I saw her, I'm watching this out of the corner of my eye. Her little table was in the corner of our room. So she tried to turn her blob into something. She got more black or blue or whatever that was and tried to make it into another animal or another shape. And she just kept trying to do it. First, before that, she went and got a washcloth and tried to wipe off the blob. Then she tried to turn the blob into something else. And then finally, she had worn a hole in the paper. So it was hopeless. And she got the paper and she brought it to me. She was about 3. She brought it to me and the paint was dripping down and just totally ruined her painting. And she said, "Oh, Mommy, I tried and I wanted to make you something beautiful, but just look." And so I knelt down and hugged her and I said, "Honey, that's okay." And she said, "I can't fix it." So I said, "I got more paper." So I went up in our craft closet and got her a brand new sheet and took it in. And I said, "Here's a brand new sheet. You can start all over. Just you remember what you wanted to make and start over." And that is just, that incident between us, it was like, that's our life, isn't it? It's most people's lives. You think you're going to be something, then you finally get to 30 or 40 or sometimes 50 and say, I'm not any closer to this than I was. And everything, I've lost my marriage, or I've lost my job, or I didn't get to go to school, or, a million things that happen. And suddenly, you find out you're no closer than you were at 19.
And God comes and
that's
says,
the beautiful thing. I'll give you a brand new sheet.
I'll give you a brand new sheet of paper.
I love that. I read that story on a plane from your book, the Something Beautiful book that you got years ago. I was, when we were traveling, I took an Uber to get on the bus. And I think it was off that same flight. And I was talking to that Uber driver. I said, of course, she asked, "What do you do while you're in town?" And I said, "Well, I sing." "What kind of music?" "I sing gospel music." "Oh, great. I love gospel." I said, I've been trying to figure out words that I use every day and making sure I know what they mean. Do you know what the word gospel means? She goes, you know what? I don't. I said, it means good news. I said, you know what the good news is? And I said, she goes, what's that? I said, he can make something beautiful out of all of our lives. We don't have to work to get it. He was good enough for us. And she goes, well, I hope one day, she said, I hope one day when I stand before God that he'll think I'm good enough. I said, well, nobody's good enough. I said, here's the good news. He was good enough for us. And she started crying. She goes, I want to believe that. How do I believe that?
What a great story. Great story.
I said, if you want to believe that, then God's giving you the grace right now to say, I believe that. She goes, can I give you a hug? And that was the point. I said, yes, you can. She goes, you're a good man. I said, no. He's good for me. Everything I do is not to earn his love. I just do it because he first loved me. And that's the gospel. That's the gospel that's in these songs.
Absolutely.
And that's why I still sing them. And Something Beautiful, that song has become my anthem, because all my dreams and all my work feel like they're ashes right now. But I know he's going to make something beautiful out of all of it. And can I tell you, before I let you go, I've kept you way longer than I thank you.
You know what, Ernie? We got a lot, nothing but time right now.
So I'm from the generation that remembers my church. They did not clap after songs. So after you sang on Sunday morning, it was amen. That was it. So I was, coming into gospel music and all this hand clapping stuff, that was foreign to me. But I remember I sang, I Am Loved. And I think that's the first hand clap in our church ever. And I used a soundtrack, that was a no-no. I went to the Christian bookstore and found a cassette. Let me tell you what I remember about it. I think the hand clap was out of pure pity. I was going through puberty, and my voice cracked on, he said, child, my scars go deeper. Hey, every time I sing that song, in my mind, I can still hear those places where my voice cracked. I know that's spiritual, but there's stories behind every one of these songs for me. And then Jesus, we just want to do is the next one. Oh, goodness.
Hey, Ernie, back to the woman who said, I'm not good enough. I think that's where we all are. And in that song, you say, I said, if you knew, you wouldn't want me. My scars are hidden by the face I wear. Oh, but he said, my child, my scars go deeper. It was love for you that put them there. We're all in that boat. I said, if you knew, you wouldn't want me. Because we all wear these faces, So you're onto the right thing. You're onto the right thing. That is the good news. And finally, I suppose when we see him face to face, we will say, finally, I'm good enough.
Oh, what a day that will be. This December will be 30 years. So April, I met Lisa 30 years ago, April. And so when we got engaged, I set her down, and I had made a list in my mind of all the stupid things I'd done that I could remember. And then she said some things to me. I said, you still want me? Yeah. And I couldn't list the stupid things I was going to do, and I've done a bunch since then. But she still wants me, and I'm just thankful during this lockdown. I married my best friend in the whole world.
Yeah, us too.
So that's why I pray that these at home, these living room sings, whatever you want to call these things that we're doing, that it's maybe bringing some people closer together, and they're finding softer words and more patient tones to make a home that is going to change generations. And we'll look back on this and we'll say, man, he does.
That was a good time.
Well, he does all things well. I think of a lot of things when I talk to you guys, and I always start off every conversation with you. You guys should know this. I still start off as that 25-year-old kid that met you for the first time in Nashville, scared to death, and can't find the words because I'm afraid I'm going to say something wrong. My grammar would be wrong, or what, all those things. But you guys always make me feel comfortable. So here we are again.
Jake Hess did that to me.
Really?
I went up to him when I was 12 years old, maybe 13, at the Ryman Auditorium. I went up to the edge of the stage. He was selling his 78 RPM. I said, Mr. Hess, you got a great voice. He said, well, thank you very much. I said, you sound like Bill Kinney of the Ink Spots. Remember, he used to sing, if I didn't care more than words could say. And I said, you sound like Bill Kinney of the Ink Spots. He said, well, thank you. That's a real compliment. That was my first contact with him. And my last contact probably with him was in our bus, or in his bus, after he had sung his last song on our stage. And he went out to get in his, remember he always wore that jumpsuit, crazy looking jumpsuit. And I was trying to help him get into it. And I got his arms in the legs, and we got all tickled. And we finally just gave up. I think he just went to sleep in his underwear that night.
Yeah,
but I thought,
panic one jumpsuit, yeah.
But I thought, what a history from the Ryman Auditorium. I can show you the seat I sat in for 67 years later, and find out he was just
It's the greatest youth.
he was just as great as I thought he was. He was the real deal. I hope I can be just that real to you, Ernie, when I finally get in my last jumpsuit.
When you have to help him get in his jumpsuit.
Hey, Ernie, ask me why I'm wearing this hat.
Hey, Bill, why are you wearing that hat?
I thought you'd never ask that question, Ernie. Till things are better, I'll be wearing this hat. And I might wear it past this time because
I know. I think it's part of your anatomy now.
Oh, I mean, you think I could get by this on stage? Because, I have less and less hair all the time, but I got it on the side, but I got a hole in the top of my haircut. And
I think you need to turn it just a little bit. There you go.
You notice I turn it to the right, don't you?
Oh, I'm not going to touch that.
Had so much fun with you guys. Thank you for trusting us with these songs and your input, and for recording on the record, and for even being on the cover. I mean, that was. We may be proud of some things we do moving forward, but this is a benchmark for us, and on behalf of all the guys. And I just thought it was neat, and the people should know this. After we took this photo, the photographer came out from behind the camera and said, "Hey, Ernie, will you take my picture with Bill and Gloria?" And so everybody that was in that room started getting their own picture, and I thought that was neat. And then in the studio, all the musicians came out from their instruments at the end and said, "Hey, can we get our picture with Bill?" And so it was it's been a great experience. It really has.
Yeah.
So,
I want to say to you, as far as this project is concerned, it's one thing to say, you want to do the tunes of Bill and Gloria, but the care and the respect that you, and with the packaging and with the instrumental, the care and respect that you have done with this project makes these two old people feel pretty good, my friend.
Yeah, you did some really fun updates too.
I mentioned Stewart, and I mentioned Mosey Lister, and I mentioned Ira, and I mentioned Fanny Crosby. The one place where, I'm not even trying to compare myself to those guys, because we never had this old house where we never had that sold 10 million records with Rosie Clooney. So we never had one of those that went, or it is no secret in the secular field. But the one thing that we've been blessed with that they didn't have, and I wish they did have, are young friends like you who come along and said, these songs are too good. Because music and hymns and songs are sometimes limited to the cultural period that they were born in.
Most of the time.
Most of the time they are. And we have been so blessed to have so many young people, including in the contemporary field, to have
Crowder.
Oh yeah, David Crowder and Matt and all these guys still singing Because He Lives. I talked to David the other day. I said, thank you for keeping us hot with all the young folks, Gloria and I don't take that lightly. I'm serious, because we've had a group of young people like you who have come along and said, these songs deserve to live. And not only do they deserve to live, they deserve to live in a classy way. We are very, very grateful. We are too blessed, old people. So I just want to tell you that. Except we don't feel that old. We feel pretty young, especially when we're you guys.
You're special to us. You're special to our family, to my Haas family, the Jans family, and so to be able to call you friends, and your words you just spoke. I don't need a Dove Award or a Grammy Award. That was my crowning achievement right there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ernie.
A lot to me.
Love you.
You guys stay safe and keep doing what you're doing. You look great. And all I know is I put these jeans on for this interview, and my sweatpants have been lying to me.
That's a great line. I'm going to steal it.
Your stretch pants don't have any other choice.
You know what we're going to do we've been taking each of your songs, like I said, on Friday, just presenting them in different ways. And so people really enjoyed feeling at home in the presence of Jesus. So we did videos of each guy, what they've been doing with their kids. And then on He Touched Me, we went a little old school talking about Hovey and Jake. And so people really like that. In a couple of weeks, we're going to do one of your songs, I Feel Like Something Good Is About to Happen. And,
can I introduce that?
Yeah. You want to do
Can
that?
I do it now?
Yeah.
Okay. We wrote this song back in the 70s when our cars were in line to get to the gas pumps. We had a quote unquote gas shortage.
Gas shortage in America.
Somewhere they found some more in the meantime, but so we wrote this song, and we wrote this last verse because every time we picked up the paper, it was more fear, fear, fear. And you know what? And if you don't have transportation to get to where you want to go,
Can't go to work.
That's a big, big deal. So we've been through a few crises before. The assassination of John Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy, and then I heard my dad talk about the Depression and World War II. I was old enough to remember Pearl Harbor. In fact, my brother used to sing, let's remember Pearl Harbor as we did the Alamo. So, I mean, we had been through a lot of stuff. But every time you picked up the paper, it seemed like there was more bad news. And so back in the 70s, because of the gas lines, we wrote this. And we said, I've noticed all the bad news in the paper. It seems like things are bleaker every day. But for the child of God, it makes no difference. Things are going to get better. Either way, I've never been more thrilled about tomorrow. Sunshine's always breaking through the clouds of gray. I just feel like something good is just about to happen. And brother, this could be that very day. My kids always say, Dad, you are the durable optimist. You know? so in fact, we wrote a song about gas lines. It said, I notice in the paper all the bad news, the gas lines keep getting longer every day, you know, and I wish I would have kept that verse, but today we probably would have written a song about the virus, you know, but hang in there. Things are going to get better either way.
I love that.
Sing the song, Signature Sound.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for spending your time with us, and thank you for giving us some insight to the songs. And like I said before, I love you. And if we're counting national treasures, you are a national treasure. So thank you for everything you've done for the church, and thank you for being my friend, and thank you for being patient with these crazy ideas that I have all these years.
And Ernie, thank you for just taking my phone calls, okay?
Thanks so much.
Love you.
God bless you. Love you. Can't wait to hug you.